At Lifehack Coaching, we help women over 35 to balance hormones naturally, boost metabolism, and lose weight sustainably. Hi everyone, today I've got Julie with me. We've been working together on and off for a while, years. Yes, Julia has been on a big, long journey, and today she's here to share it with us. So, Julia, tell me about your life before we start working together.
Yeah, sure. So in 2018, I had my boy, Theo. He's now 7. And then pretty soon after that, in 2019, I started my solo parenting journey, and I was a working mum. So life was pretty hectic. I was just sort of running from one thing to the next and not really focusing on myself. And yeah, it was around 2022, and I was probably the heaviest I've ever been, and just making it through each day. And my confidence was really low. So I was just feeling really crap. Yeah. And then so I decided to focus on myself. Saw a lot of Anastasia's content or your content on Facebook, and was like, I'm just going to do it. Like, I need to invest something in myself or I'm just going to lose it. So, yeah.
Yeah. So what made you actually to reach out for coaching in the first place? Yes, you've seen the content, and yes, it's constantly popping up, and yes, I post a lot.
Yeah.
But what actually made you go, okay, I think it's time. I think it's something that it's right time for me now. Well, it's never right time, but
yeah. I don't know if it was your content or just online content in general, but I started learning about the clean eating and what that was and what that would look like. And so I actually started doing it myself towards the end of 2022. And I think in about 2 months, I lost like 3 kilos or something. So I was like, oh, this actually works. And your content was very similar to that. So I just thought, yeah, I need to work with her.
Yeah. I always say to everyone, the information online is free, right? And the reason you would want to get a coach is for accountability. It's all it is. It's for someone to hold your hand, for someone to kind of work through so much information and go, okay, well, this information will work for you. Don't worry about all the other information that's out there. Yeah, so you mentioned clean eating. So, we all kind of have an idea in our heads what clean eating means, but what does it mean to you? Like, what did you understand clean eating at that point? Like, what was it?
I think it was more at that point, it was more simplified. So it was like whole foods. So forgetting things that come out of a packet and just focusing on like your meat, your vegetables, your potato, that sort of stuff. And so I kept it really basic to begin with. Yeah.
Yeah. Because like a lot of women that would be listening or watching this video, and that's what I found over the years, is that I'm like, well, that's self-explanatory. Why can't you understand what it means or what clean eating means? Is like literally, but a lot of people don't, and that's how they get themselves in the state where they become not as healthy as they want to be.
Right.
It's a lack of knowledge or lack of understanding, and that's what I'm seeing a lot, is that it's not that people not willing or don't want to take care of themselves, it's that they actually don't know how or where to start. And that's where, like someone like me can work through all those different ideas and thoughts and fad diets out there and go, okay, well, this is where you need to start. This is the basics. Yeah. Okay, so we worked on and off for a bit. What actually brought you back last time?
Yeah. So it's the accountability stuff. So I find when I work with you, I know that every time I go to eat something, I'm going to have to front up to you in a phone call once a week. And so it just keeps me accountable, and I'm able to say no to things really abruptly. Like, nope, I can't eat that.
No, I don't want to explain myself to Anastasia.
I don't want to be embarrassed. No.
I didn't shame you, did I?
No, you didn't shame me. No, but like I think, natural human emotions, like when someone's expecting you to do something and then you don't do it, you do have emotions in your body. And so I was just like, no, I want to feel proud when I talk to you, and I want to be able to be like, yes, this is what I did this week, not, oh, actually, I hate this.
Yeah.
This is why my weight's up.
Yeah. So So when you came to me first time, how much weight have you lost?
After the first time or
First time.
in total?
Let's do first time.
Oh, I don't know the exact figures. I think it was like 7 or 8 kilos or something like that. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. And what is it total now?
16.3.
Okay. So how many times have we worked together?
Well,
Has
like
it been 3 years? Three
it's always
times.
been 3 years, and I think we've worked together 4 times. One time was
Oh,
just like on, just some brief like online coaching, and
yeah.
times was like the full program. Yeah.
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 Okay. So first time was 7 to 8 kilos. Then what happened?
And then I stopped working with you, and I definitely took a lot of the knowledge that I got from you in terms of like what is clean and what isn't, and like getting enough
Yeah.
protein and moving my body and all that sort of stuff. But I started to slip back into some of my old habits.
Mm.
And I think for me, it really comes back to that accountability piece. I didn't have
Mm.
you to be
Yeah.
accountable to. Yeah. So,
And then so did you gain a little bit?
yeah, gained a little bit, started
Not
working.
all, right?
Not all. No.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then so you came back, you've lost more and got below to where you were.
Yeah. Got below where I was from the
And then
first
you,
time. Yeah.
yeah, and then you went away, gain a little bit again, but not to the second level, right? Like it's like a normal weight loss, right? You lose, you gain, you lose, you gain, you lose, you gain, but overall you're going down, going down, going down, right? And I guess with you, because you lost, it took you that long because you keep going, okay, I can do it on my own, but you didn't reach the perfect goal that you wanted to reach
Mm.
in that time frame, or because it was a lot of weight to go,
Yeah.
so the time frame wasn't long enough to lose all of the weight. So then you went away, you gain, but you didn't gain all weight because you did learn some habits and you actually carried on and implementing it but living your life. And then so now you're like 16 kilos down, right? And so do you feel like, so you got below, like we got you down below to what your initial goal was in intentionally, so then you can have a little bit of freedom of having treats here and there and then kind of getting yourself back on track? Because I think it's an emotional thing where if you get yourself to the perfect weight that you want to be, but then when you gain a couple of kilos because you got period or because you had too much salt or because you went and had Chinese or whatever yummy food, and you gain that 2 kilos and you get disheartened and you're like, oh, F it, I already ruined that, so might as well eat a cake. And then it becomes the spiral down the hill of emotional decisions where if you get just below your perfect weight, then it gives you that 2 kilos. Go, all right, well, I've got my period, so I'm still at my perfect weight. So tomorrow I'm just going to eat healthy, no junk, no processed food, drink my water, sleep my 7+ hours, manage my stress, and all this stuff that women have to do because of our crazy hormones. And then it's a little bit easier to deal with, right? Like you're less emotionally disappointed with yourself, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
Right?
Like, that if, I go out for dinner or something on the weekend, that my weight is going to go up. Like, I can't control exactly what's in that food.
No.
And so I don't get stunned. I go, cool. So the rest of this week and the next weekend is just going to be back to tracking food, making sure that I'm eating clean, moving my body, getting enough water, getting enough sleep. And it comes down. You just have to trust the process.
It does.
Yeah.
It does.
Yeah.
But I normally say it's 1 week. It takes 1 week for that weight to come down. It will depend on how much. Like for me, my weight fluctuates quite a bit if I eat processed food. Or it doesn't even have to be processed. For me, it's mango, it's prawns and nuts. Like if I eat any of those three things, there's other things like grapes and whatever. It's at least a kilo. It could be 1.5 kilos overnight, right? So it's
Yeah.
like you have one bite, like 1 second thing, enjoyment, and then you're like, boom, 1.5 kilos. You have to now work for 1 week hard to get it down. And it's like, okay, was it worth it? Probably not. And my biggest thing about it, right? It's not that, okay, the weights went up, so it's not fat. It's not fat. It's water retention. It's some sort of inflammation in your body. So why is this happening? Like, is it good for you? Probably not.
Yeah. And the biggest thing I found this time round working with you was soy sauce. Even if it's organic tamari, I just can't have high sodium foods. I can't.
Right.
It just blows me up like a balloon, and it makes
Yep.
it really difficult for me to lose weight. So I have, come to that realization.
Yeah.
Decided to replace with other things that are far more natural. So,
Yeah.
yeah, and just go without.
And have you noticed, because we've been working for so long, you've gone through different stage of your life, as you know, we're getting older as a woman, hormones are changing. Have you noticed that your body reacts differently to different foods now to what it was, 2 years ago?
Yeah. Yeah. Because I think 2 years ago when we were working together, I was still able to have, high sodium foods and like soy sauce and stuff like
And it
that.
was
But now
fine.
it's like, oh,
Nope, you're getting older. Might as well take that away from you.
yeah.
No fun. So, what are the biggest changes that you've noticed during this time?
I would say my confidence. So, I mean, obviously there's the 16.3 kilos, but my confidence has really helped. And so, a lot of people say to me, they haven't seen me for a while. They're like, oh, wow, you've, lost so much weight. But also they're like, wow, you're so much more like confident and outgoing and,
Mm,
just happy and cheery. And yeah, so, and I think you can see that like through my photos as well. Like my posture was quite like hunched over and
mm.
just, yeah, like really curled in. And now it's a bit more open and confident. So, yeah, I would say the confidence.
But you also, during this time, you've been doing quite a bit of inner work, right? So it's not just nutrition that made you confident or weight loss that made you confident. You've been working on your inner work too, like working through
Oh,
your
yeah.
struggles and the thought process and triggers and all sorts of different things. So I think it's a combination of actually taking care of your body and your soul at the same time that makes a big difference.
Yeah.
Because I see a lot of people lose weight, but then they jump back to old habits. And it's not because they can't control what they eat. It's because our food is attached to our emotional state quite a lot because, depending on what we eat gives us dopamine, makes us happy, gives us comfort, and depends on our upbringing and childhood and things like that. So, and I see a lot, and sometimes I just have to tell people, look, it's beyond to what I can coach you. You actually need to go and get some support to help you internally, mentally, to deal with food and why you're using food as a comfort or use food as a punishment or use food because it's not just like we see a lot, oh, I eat binge because I makes me happy. I work with clients that don't eat because they punish themselves
Mm.
because that's how it was done to them when they were kids. So then it's something deeper and that you have to work with specialists on that because if you fix that, nutrition will be easier because you're not dealing with all the demons inside your head that attach to nutrition and nourishing your body and looking after yourself. So what surprised you the most about this coaching process?
Probably just like over time, how easy it was to fit into my life. So, in the beginning, it takes a bit of time to get your head around, and you really need to create space in your day to plan your food the day before and stuff like that. But once you get into that routine, it just becomes part of your life. And so I found that the coaching process was just easy and fit in. So, like coaching calls with you weren't onerous. They were like quick conversations, but really useful and valuable conversations. And they kept me accountable every week. And, just having like the daily priorities and planning your food, it just all like fit in. I guess it just becomes a way of living, a way of life.
Yeah, yeah. It's no point doing something for 16 weeks if you treat it as a challenge, right? Like, I mean, there is challenge at the start for sure, just to get started. But what I mean is like, it's not a quick fix. It's not a quick diet. It's, I guess, like an on-ramp into the longer planning, like a longer lifestyle change, because that's what you need really. Because if you stop, you will gain weight back up again because you didn't learn anything and you didn't change, your habits. Every day choice that you have to make. Like when you wake up in the morning, you constantly have to fight yourself on decisions. And that's one of those decisions like, yes, I'm not going to eat, I don't know, white pasta. Yes, I'm not going to eat white rice because I can't process it well. Or if I'm driving somewhere and I'm hungry and I have to stop at petrol station and there is banana, nuts and protein bars, knowing how my body operates, I will probably get banana and protein bar because that's what my body will be able to digest better over nuts, even though protein bar is more processed, like it is processed food and nuts are not, but my body just can't deal with nuts. So I'm not going to get it for myself. So it's kind of those choices that you have to make every day where I could get a pie or I could get chocolate brownie, which I would love, but then I won't. because I will have to deal with consequences that I don't want to deal with. So it's an everyday choice that you have to make. So how have you overcome setbacks? Like, how did you deal with, when you go out and you have something and your weight jumps up? How did you deal with it?
I guess just falling back on to what I've learned, and trusting the process. Like, for example, that time of the month when your body starts preparing.
For that, Mia.
Yeah, I find it really hard to lose any weight, and more often than not, my weight actually goes up a bit. So,
Yeah, normal.
that can be quite disheartening,
Yep.
and especially when you're consistently putting in the effort every day to plan your meals and eat clean, and you're moving your body and you're keeping to calories and stuff like that. But the main thing that I learned was just to trust the process and to stay consistent, because it pays off. Because after that week, my weight will drop quite drastically over a few days. And that's when I see the results of the effort that I put in the week before. So yeah, just trusting the process and staying consistent, and does work, even if you're
Yes.
getting your period and your weight's up.
Yeah, it's interesting with women that don't get their periods
Mm.
because they on whatever they're on. Same thing. I actually sometimes I track their cycle on my notes. They don't even track their cycle. I'm like, all right, it's 18 if you're coming up to your cycle, and that's why your weight is up. And they're like, that's right. I'm like, are you experiencing any symptoms at all? Like, maybe a little bit more cranky. I'm like, okay, cool. That's, if we can use that as an indication a little bit, that's the win. Like, we can track that. But yeah, the weight goes up, the mood changes, they're more hungry. That's very common for all women that have a cycle, that go through the cycle. So do you remember any point of time when there was like a aha moment, like when things clicked and you're like, I get it now?
I would say it was way back at the beginning, and I started working with you and I felt full like all the time and I wasn't hungry. It was back at the beginning where you're just on maintenance calories and we're just learning the ropes kind of thing. And then
Yeah.
we'd to slightly drop the calories, but I still felt full. And I think the reason for that was because I was getting enough protein.
Yeah.
And eating clean means you can eat more, but I think it's the protein side of it. I definitely don't think I was getting enough protein before I started working with you. That helps me feel fuller for longer. I think it helps me lose weight, but it also sort of like stabilizes my mood as well. Yes. Yeah.
So what is it like? How much is it for you that you feel good on? How much protein is that?
At least 120 grams.
Yeah, that's what I found as well.
Yeah.
About 120, 140, I'm like, I'm so full. Like, it's a lot of food.
Yeah.
Even if I didn't eat all my calories, but I had 140 grams of protein, I'm like, oh my God, it's too much food. But 120 is kind of like a happy medium. I feel good. I don't feel fragile. I feel just, energy. Good. But because we all do have those days when we don't eat enough protein or don't track or whatever. And I know if I go back and enter into my fitness pal how much I eaten that day, my protein would be like, I don't know, 70 grams. I'm like, okay, that's why I feel shit. Yep, that makes all sense. No, that's cool. Well, thank you so much for sharing that. So what would you say to another woman that's listening, like struggling to lose weight or thinking about what to do next, where to start? Like, what would you recommend?
So it's kind of like glasses, right? If you can't see, you go and get glasses. If you feel like crap and you're the heaviest you've ever been, invest in yourself. You would take yourself off to the doctor if you were feeling unwell. So I just, each time I go to work with you, I think of it, I can't put a dollar value on it. This is how I'm going to invest in myself and support my health and well-being so that I can feel fulfilled and be the best mum that I can be, and daughter and friend and partner. And so just think of it like an investment, and it's not about just these 8 weeks or, however many weeks you're going to work with Anastasia for. It's a life-changing experience, which is really cool.
Well, let's say they can't afford to work with anyone else. What would you recommend to them? Like, what should they start on? Because, I can be preaching certain things. You should do this, you should do this, you should do this. But they're like, well, yeah, it's easy to say because you're a coach. But as a person who went through weight loss, what would you recommend? Where to start?
So I would focus on eating as many whole foods as you can. tracking what you're eating, and it's not tracking it on the day, it's planning the day before. So every night I'm on MyFitnessPal and I just put in what I'm going to eat the next day.
Yeah.
And in order to be able to do that, you also have to meal prep. So there's like, before you even get started, it's like meal prep, grocery shop, sorry, other way around, plan food, and then you can go into your week. Yeah.
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 And so when you say whole foods, like what are they? Like just yeah.
So as many fruits, veg, lean meats. In terms of carbs, like that's a little bit more tricky, but I think, your potatoes, kumara, brown rice, if you can make your own like sourdough or make your own bread, that's the best thing that you can do, but
Yes.
stay away from the supermarket breads. Maybe Vogels, the original Vogels. Yeah.
They're right. They don't have it
They're
much.
okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They're right.
Yeah. And in terms of fats, a massive thing for me was learning that all these different types of oils that are branded as healthy aren't actually healthy. They're highly processed and not meant for your body. So just sticking to things like coconut oil, extra virgin olive oil. I do
Avocado.
have real butter, nut butters. Yeah. The real peanut butter. So like the Pix one that you can buy, not the other brands that have all the crap in them. So really important to just, if you are going to buy something in a packet or a jar or whatever, turn it around and see what's in the back. And if those ingredients, you wouldn't normally find them in your pantry or you can't buy them, don't eat it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, that's cool. That's very helpful. Your thoughts on sauces like ketchup, mayonnaise, and other ones?
Sauces, you just kind of have to make your own. If you go to the supermarket and look at the back of the sauce bottles, they're just filled with stuff that aren't meant to be in our bodies. And so if you're focusing on eating clean, those are only going to hinder your process. So I find like making my own sauces or making my own broth for a soup and stuff like that is the better way to go. And it's more time invested, but it does pay off and you will feel better.
And I can hear people are saying now, or women are saying now, but I don't have time to do all that shit. Like, I don't have time to cook. I don't have time to make my own sauces. So what's your answer to that? Because you were a single mom, or you're still a single mom for such a long time. You work full time, you got a kid and you care full time. Do you have time to cook? And how do you get time?
Yeah, I had to make the time. Yeah. So, life is full and really busy. But, there's 2 days on the weekend that I would always have with my son. And so, if it meant that we spent a morning or an afternoon at home and he was playing or, doing whatever he wanted to do, and I could just focus on, right, I'm going to be cooking these 3 meals today and I'm going to portion them off, put them in containers. Some go in the fridge, some go in the freezer, and then I'm done, set for the week. And that will give you your time back at the end of the day when you go to reach for something for dinner and you're like, I could just pull it out of the fridge and heat it up. Like it's not even, you don't have to make a full meal at the end of the day. So if you make the time in your weekend, then you get the time back during your week. Yeah.
I remember going through the stage where I was so busy. I owned a gym. I had a newborn. I was trying to lose weight. It was just life was so busy. And I was calculating how much time can I save or how much it takes me to cook dinner. And so I figured out, okay, well, at least a day, I spend 1.5 hours in the kitchen. That's including all the cooking, lunch, dinner, preparing, heating up, doing the dishes. Like they just say 1.5 hours a day. That's like 10 hours a week that we're cooking and cleaning the kitchen and doing the dishes, at least. But if you spend 3 hours on the weekend doing all your meal prep, it's 7 hours back.
Yeah.
That's a lot of time. Like 7 hours, that's what I can do, go to the gym. Or at 7 hours that I can do study. Or 7 hours that I could spend with my kids actively playing rather than being on the kitchen all the time.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's a lot of hours. Right? So, So looking back, what's the best thing you've gained from your journey?
I got my life back. Because if I look at how I was and how I was feeling in 2022, I was at my lowest. Like I really was. And I've been able to take control of my health and well-being. And, you talked about moving through other internal work and, I've been through a lot of stuff and done a lot of internal work as well. And, and I feel in a really good place in my life. And I'm no longer a solo parent. So that's great. it's really nice to, have that confidence to get back out there, to meet people. And yeah, I feel like I've got like a little family unit now and things are good. So yeah, got
That's
control in
awesome.
my life.
That's
Yeah.
very cool. That's very cool. Well, thank you so much for sharing your story with us today. I find it always very empowering and beneficial for others to hear, especially for those who are struggling, knowing that it's not just them and they're not alone and everyone go through their struggles. And I say, best coaches been through that themselves too. Like if you're looking for a coach, you want to find someone who's been through exactly the same what you are going through, because they will have, apart from book knowledge, apart from all the study that we all do, you want to have someone that truly understand your story and your journey and how to get you there. So yeah, well, thank you so much for joining me here today.
It's okay. Thank you for all your help over the last few years.
If you have any questions about this podcast or about hormones, weight loss, or just healthier lifestyle, please go to our website at lifehackcoaching.co.nz or feel free to email me directly, Anastasia at lifehackcoaching.co.nz.